Hello guys, and welcome to today's episode of the JRE review. Bit of a catch-up from last week. This is episode 1303, 1303, Tommy Chong, the legend. Still trucking, 81 years old. Obviously, he is the star of the Cheech and Chong movies, which, if you haven't seen those, and you also happen to smoke weed, that is a must-see. They're a bit old now, but for what they were back in the day and growing up, I love watching those. Funny as fuck. They're hilarious. They at least still hold up for me, but I remember seeing them when I was younger, so maybe, I don't know if they'd be all that funny to the new generation if you haven't seen them, but I still say worth a look. They had a lot of them, so check them out. So yeah, let's start this review. Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience Review, where each week I review every single episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. What more do you want? I loved during this conversation how he sounded, like how he would talk. He's so chilled, and he's like, he has the thought process that I'd love to have at 81 years old. Just like, he has no hate, There's some frustrations, mostly with Donald Trump, from what I could tell of what he was saying, but he's just a calm, cool guy. And that says a lot, because he went to jail for kind of bogus charges, and you would think that he would hate a lot of people because of that, but he seems to not. And that's impressive. And obviously important, right? You want to let things go. Obviously, he's smoked a ton of weed in his life, so maybe that's kind of enlightened him a little bit and taught him to forgive. But yeah, he went to jail back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was for selling bongs, I think, online. Not even weed, just like something to smoke weed in. And yeah, they took him to jail. And he said even in there was a lot of people on kind of bogus charges in jail, and a lot of IRS stuff too. You don't fuck with the IRS, people. They will come for you, for sure. He didn't have all that bad things to say about jail, though. I don't know. It didn't sound like his jail was quite like everybody else's. He almost made it seem like a bit of a country club. I'm sure it wasn't great, but he found the positive in it. And he would play pool. They had a pool hall. He could, what else did he say that he did? He had areas to kind of write and did he play an instrument? I don't remember. Damn it. I should have wrote that down. But yeah, it wasn't like his worst experience. He actually kind of got a lot of benefit out of it and met some really cool people. And the sad part of his conversation, and you'll hear it when he's talking to Joe, is that for some people when they left, people with bad drug addictions, they could live in jail, they could survive, they could be clean, but as soon as they hit the streets again, it became a mess. And I guess somebody he knew, that happened to him. He was worried about leaving, and as soon as he did, he, OD'd. And sad stuff in that case. Talk a little bit about fitness in later age. Joe talks about he works out all the time because he's scared that everything's going to fall apart. He's 51 now. He's no spring chicken. And, you add my age to his, and that's the same as Tommy. So it doesn't take long to get up there. And I guess Tommy stays pretty active for 81. It's so impressive. I can't imagine. Unbelievable. Good for him. It's probably what keeps him, healthy in that sense. And his mind seemed really sharp. It really did. He was saying some wacky things after a while, but yeah, it kind of was. He had a really interesting theory on Donald Trump and kind of a conspiracy to get him into office as a way to take him down. Definitely check that out when you're listening to that bit of the podcast. Joe kind of accused him of being a little bit too high, which I thought was hilarious. He was kind of losing me on that theory a little bit, but maybe that's just because I'm too dumb to understand it. That's probably it. But it was a little wacky. One really cool thing that he talked about is getting high with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. And that these bodybuilders would take massive bong rips, like massive. They used to get high as fuck. And that's cool as hell, I think, to be able to get high with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You probably can't do it anymore. I don't know if he smokes weed now. Probably, maybe does, actually. Oh, and did you guys see that online video recently of Arnold in South Africa where some dude just ran up to him and double leg kicked him? That is so fucked up. Why would you do that to Arnie? He's like 70 years old. I still love the fact he didn't even move. He just barely moved and just turned around like, what the fuck was that? I love it. He's a beast. Good old Arnie. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger actually trains at a gym just down the road from me. My neighbor sees him all the time, training down there. And I think that's badass that he's like every day down there and supposedly really approachable. You can just go say hi. You know, he has like a bodyguard there, but it's not like he has a closed off section. He's down to chat with people, which is badass. But he loves that place. That was like the original Pumping Iron gym, you know. I really should check that place out now that I think about it. I should go down there. I'm gonna go down there. I'll do it. I'm heading down. Tommy also had a bit of a theory about life on Earth being the only life in the universe. I don't really know where he was going with that, but he was just kind of making that point. Interesting theory. Give me some feedback on that. I don't know where he's going. It seems like there's just too many planets for that to be possible, but it could be. It could be, right? I mean, I think he was just talking more about like the human experience and that we're here to like work together and be nicer and treat people right, and you know. He was going on a bit of a preachy thing, which is okay. He's a good guy. He's an old guy, you know. He's probably a grandpa or a great-grandpa. He's just telling his story. This is kind of how grandpas talk, you know. At least mine used to. And, and again, he talks a lot about that prison situation. And he knew the Wolf of Wall Street guy, too. The guy that, like, the actual guy that was in jail. And he said he kind of inspired him to write a book. Which became that movie, which is cool. And something he said about writing, which I really liked, he was talking to Joe, and he said that there's really one rule to writing, and it's called the most of. The most of. And it just really means, what he was saying is, you don't get high, you get your highest. Like, you do your very best bit of it, the most extreme version of whatever you're doing. I don't know if I truly understand the whole ins and outs of that one. I kind of get it. It seems kind of good. I don't know exactly how to apply that to, say, some writing that I'm doing. You know, shoot me an email if you understand that well. I'd like to know. The email, of course, is always in the description. I really should make it a link, so you can just push it quick and then go straight to your email. But I think you have to copy and paste it. So sorry about that. That's just because I'm dumb and I'm not very good with those link things. I'll sort that out. I'll figure it out. And then coming towards the end, he was kind of summing it up with just like, you know, us as human beings, and when we get sad or when we complain a lot or when we have a lot of stress, it's like, it's so hard to really, you know, accept that, because, you know, we're being born now, right? So we're lucky because we've like inherited a kingdom. And I've never thought about it that way. I thought it was really intuitive, and Joe knew exactly what he meant. And it was just that, you know, we're not born in the Middle Ages. We just happen to be born now on the backs of all this technology and cities and economy and everything that other people died for, that worked hard for, that put it together, and now we get to reap it all. And it's nice to hear those things, because then you can say to yourself, oh, I don't want to lose track of that. I mean, and how lucky we are in that sense. You know, I'm not trying to get old Gary V, but it is important to have those things in your mind when you're going through like stressful events, just to kind of try and slow it down and take a minute and say, yeah, you know what? We're fucking so lucky. If it gets hot, we got air conditioning. None of us singly built that. We wouldn't know how to do it. We're just taking technology that was here and just making it a little bit better. And we're so lucky to have all that. But anyway, that's enough of my preachy shit. Thank you guys, as always, for listening and downloading. And have a great day.